Life is a series of awakenings. Every day is a new opportunity to awaken to the best version of ourselves. So we live our best life with purpose and on purpose. Well, today we're going to jump right on into it. We have an amazing guest hanging out with us in the virtual studio, Yolanda Hall, friend of the show. And our topic is I woke up like this. I woke up like this. We'll be right back after this quick intro. We're excited to have you here. I'm Charvette Mitchell. Let's get ready to rumble.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Why y'all so happy?
You don't know? Charvette Mitchell is on the radio.
It's time to get motivated, excited, and influenced. Why? It's the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, live from Richmond, Virginia. And now, here to motivate, excite, and influence you, Charvette Mitchell.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to the Charvette Mitchell Radio Show, broadcasting live from the capital city of Richmond, Virginia, but heard and seen all across the World Wide Web. And you are here for episode 745, and we are excited to be streaming across several different platforms. So if you are listening in and watching from Facebook, hello, shout out, give us some love in the comments and with the hearts. If you are listening in and watching from LinkedIn, certainly give us some shout outs and some loves and all the things over there. Oh, we cannot leave out our YouTube family. YouTube is already cranking up over there. And we know that you love this content of this channel. So go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any juicy nuggets. And then certainly those that are listening to our podcast version in Apple Podcasts and Spotify and Stitcher and all the places and Blog Talk Radio and Charvette.com. We're excited to have you on Instagram as well. Instagram, we bringing you in on this combo during this segment here. And so we are super excited. Listen, getting it lined up over on YouTube, all the things. Kim, we see you there. Bobby, Joe, Deborah, Marilyn. Listen, in the house, representing all the time. Listen, we are glad to have you. Got a shout out to my mom. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey, glad to have you as always. And so we love with this show. The goal of this show is to motivate, excite, and influence. And we know that this topic today and this discussion is just for that. And you might have someone that's between like the ages of 16 to, early 20s. And maybe, they don't hang out with you while you're watching. This is a segment, or while you're listening, this is a segment to pull them in on. So let me go ahead and introduce our guest because she's in the virtual green room. But listen, she's ready and waiting to come right on up to the mic. So Yolanda Hall is joining us from Queens, New York native, but currently lives in Chester, Virginia. She is a seasoned youth mindset coach, a trainer, a speaker, and author with over 20 years of experience in guiding young minds. As a graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University, which is my alma mater as well, she has dedicated her life's work to educating, empowering, and introducing young people to the best versions of themselves. Her roles as school counselor, school counseling director, and prevention specialist have laid the groundwork for a smooth transition to becoming a certified mindset coach. And guess what? In 2021, Yolanda founded Unbreakable Minds Coaching to support teens, to support young adults, and to support parents to get out of their head and get out of their own way so they can live their best life with purpose and on purpose. Listen, put your hands together, shout it up, clap it up in the virtual studio, in the audience as we bring up to the mic. Yolanda Hall. Hey, Yolanda.
Hey, I love the claps. I love it.
We are so excited to have you. Certainly a friend of the show. Absolutely. Also a listener and watcher from time to time when your schedule allows. And so we're excited to jump in, to this conversation with you. And so, Yolanda, you've worked with teens and young adults, for over 20 years. But what really sparked your passion for helping young people find their best selves?
Well, first of all, Charvette, thank you so much. I've been following you, watching you for a long time. And then I finally was able to get into your Platform Builders program. So I do want to shout that out.
Yes.
Yes. And so thank you for having me.
You're
And
welcome.
to answer your question about where my passion comes from. So interesting. You said that I grew up in New York and I went to Catholic school, right? From first to
Oh,
12th grade. I was in Catholic school the entire time.
oh, wow.
And I don't know about these days, but when I tell you we were volunteering for everything, it was like our whole class is going to the the nursing home up the street, or
Uh-huh.
our whole class is going to sing Christmas carols to, so and so. So very like first, second grade, we were volunteering to just go support the community at large,
Yeah.
right? Then when I moved into high school, there was actually a class called, shout out to Bishop Lachlan in Brooklyn, New York. There was a class called community service. And one day a week, we got
Okay.
to like not go to school, but to go do this community service and
Wow.
then, come back and talk about it and process it. And then moving into college, I knew since 11th grade that I wanted to pledge Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated.
Okay,
Shout out
Delta's in the house. Delta's in the
shout out
house.
to my sorors.
Soror's in the house.
Yes, and we are built on community service, and so
Yeah.
as soon as I came to college, I found an elementary school where I could go and volunteer with young people, and so then and I wanted to be a pediatrician coming in, so I wanted to work with young kids. That didn't work out, as you can see. Um, then I wanted to be a teacher, and then I remembered my school counselor and how
Mm.
amazing she was and how impactful she was in my life and the lives of my friends and other
Yeah.
classmates, and just all those things. And I was like, I want to be a counselor. I
Yeah.
want to be able to help, just like my counselor helped me to help young people in middle school, high school age, and so my professional
Mhm.
career started as a middle school counselor. And I became a mentor, to many of them, even after they left. And then I always remember that one relationship impacts two lives, right? And so it was like
Oh,
an
yeah.
energy swap. When I was working in those areas with those young people, like I was getting full. So I'm like, this is where I need to be because when you find
Yeah.
your purpose, right? I was just like, I didn't even know it was my purpose, but I just was like, this feels good. And I'm
Mm.
helping someone else and it's helping me at the same time. So that's kind of how that happened. And it just, every position that I was in allowed me to work with teens and young adults. So it's been an amazing journey.
Heart's work, absolutely heart's work. And so I do have to just stick a pin. Something about that New York accent, it don't let y'all go, honey. You can be gone from New York 20 years, 30, it ain't gonna let you loose.
Listen, 30 plus years I've been going, but when I get excited,
Yeah,
it comes
listen,
out.
it don't let you loose. It don't let you loose. So, do you have like a personal awakening, which it almost kind of sounds like a little bit of what you just said, but any other personal awakening moments that really kind of shaped who you are today?
Yeah, so I'll just refer to like my adult life and being a parent, right?
Yeah.
Um, one like huge awakening was that I am not responsible for my children's happiness.
Mm,
Okay. They
yeah.
ask you, what do you want? What do you want for your children?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, I just want my children to be happy. While I want them to be happy, there's
Mhm.
a distinction between wanting them to be happy and creating a safe, nurturing environment,
Yeah.
than thinking it's your job and every move you make, you're trying to make them happy. You will like,
Mm,
and I was exhausted feeling that way.
yeah.
I was throwing these big, this is just one example. I was throwing these big
Yeah.
elaborate birthday parties for like the first 8 years of their lives. And I remember my mother leaning into me at one, and she was like, how long are you gonna keep this up? Um,
Like, how you
and
doing?
then
Look, I'm seeing hearts. I'm seeing hearts coming in for that. Yeah, if that
yes,
resonates with you, throw some hearts up. Yeah.
absolutely, and so okay, Bronx is in the house.
Bronx is in
Yeah, so once I let go of that mindset that that was my responsibility, their happiness, their joy, their peace, like all the fruits, right?
Yeah.
My devotion's been around the fruits of the spirit for the past couple of weeks. All the fruits, like I felt like it was my responsibility to create that happiness for them, and it's just not.
Mm,
And one thing, it prevents them from experiencing certain things because we're trying to fix, we're trying to make everything perfect, we're trying to make everything
mm,
fun, and it's just not the real world. And once I let that go, and let them experience life on their own,
yeah.
some I felt lighter. and they get to experience life without me trying to be the protector, and my husband and I both. So
yeah. Which I think this lends so well to that you also help parents as well. So we can certainly hear that. Hey, comedian Wendy Lee coming in from Wakanda. We are we are.
I love it.
Right. We are glad to have you. If you're just joining us, we are hanging out here. We have our guest, Yolanda Hall, founder of Unbreakable Minds Coaching, and episode 745. I woke up like this. Life is a series of awakenings. Life is a series of awakenings. And so especially I think definitely for females that are in this kind of age bracket that you focus on, 15 to 25, which is where your emphasis is, and they are college students. Why is this age range, so critical for mindset development?
Yes. Well, I think in my work, I've seen that there are so many programs for youth, like, elementary age, middle school age, right? It's like you got to catch them while they're young. You got to catch them while they're young. But I realized in working with that population is that a lot of them can slip through the cracks, right? A lot of them have different things going on, and they don't get what they need during those younger years. So we have to have these programs when they are teenagers, when they are young adults. Like, it never stops, like I teach them to be lifelong learners, because life just changes. The pandemic happened and nobody was expecting that, and now everything's different. Right. Another important thing is that brain development, so the scientists say, like, it continues until they're about the age of 25. So this is like almost the last opportunity before it's set in stone, before their mindset, their ways, all of those things are set in stone. This is an opportunity to look at those mindsets that are not serving them and be able to say, oh, hubby's in the house, and to be able to say, what is not serving you, and do you want to make a change? And let's talk about how we do that. They have a wealth of decisions that have to be made at this age, right? And this may be the last opportunity before they have complete independence for them to recognize their personal power. Because once you walk into the world, you gotta be ready.
Right. You gotta be ready to go. Wow. Unbreakable. And so Unbreakable Minds Coaching, I know there are people saying, I like that. How did you come up with that name?
Oh my gosh. So it's so interesting. Mindset wasn't even like there at when I first started, right? The word unbreakable was in my spirit. And you know that I was a part of Womb with Maya. And so there was a young lady there, and she said, Yolanda, I'm really good at this. Let's talk offline. And we got offline, and she said, just talk to me. Just talk to me about what you want to do. Talk to me about your mission. Talk to me about all those things. And she said, you sound like you're talking about their minds or their mindsets or something like that. She was like, I wonder what we could. I said, Unbreakable Minds. Like, that's it.
There it is.
And so from there, it just took off, and it allows me to stay focused. Because at first I was like, I'm a life coach, for teens and young adults. But I thought it was important to niche down because as I was working with teens and young adults in the beginning, I realized that their mindset was the problem. And if your mindset is the problem, a shift in mindset can be the solution.
Absolutely. There you go. So what are 3 strategies that you use to help your clients kind of break free from negative thinking and help them to develop a positive mindset?
Yes. Well, number one, just defining mindset and helping them understand what mindset is, because they all could come in with their different versions of what mindset is. And I always tell them it's the lens through which they see the world. It's like being able to take these glasses off and put on another pair of glasses and have a new mindset, and you just see everything different. Right. So just to be able to define mindset and help them understand how their mindset is developed, because again, scientists say that some of it is biology, but it's also your environment and then learned behavior. Right. But because I know that my children, I could tell them all day, but they're going to watch and see what I do. And they'll do that first before they do what I tell them to do. Right. So our mindset comes from all of those different things. And I just think it's important for them to understand that. And then the awareness, right? And so I woke up like this, that whole term came from just having an awareness. It's not like I woke up in the morning at 6 o'clock. It's more like, I had an epiphany, or I had some newfound clarity, or, some new awareness that sometimes we just ignore. We wake up in the morning with a thought and we're like, oh, okay. And we keep moving.
Yeah.
But to be intentional about slowing down and being aware of how this mindset is showing up in my life and impacting me in my relationships, all that kind of stuff. Another thing I teach them is to be where your feet are, right? And this is a whole mindfulness thing.
Yeah.
This and a young man in my college Minds Connect group, we were talking about overthinking, and we were talking about being present and not, like intentionally being present. And so when I asked what the takeaways were, he said, my takeaway, Miss Yolanda, is to be where my feet are. I said, sir, I need to pay you for that, because I'm like,
noted.
Listen. And so I shared that with people, like, you struggling, like, be where your feet are. Let's just focus. And I even do an activity like where you have to like find your toes, like literally something you could do in class. I didn't, like feel your toes in your shoes, like, what I mean? Just to be present. I was at an event not too long ago, and I went outside and I took my shoes off, and the lady said, those shoes must really be hurting your feet. I said, I'm grounding, honey. I'm trying to get myself. There's a lot going on, and I need to ground myself before I go back in there to receive everything else they have to offer. But to get back on track, 2 more things. One thing is language matters, right? So in changing that mindset, be careful what you say to yourself about yourself. Right? Treat yourself like how you would treat your best friend, right? Your brain is always listening, and it believes what you tell it.
Yes, it does.
So listen, I have a habit of saying, oh, my back is killing me. And I had somebody walk up to me and say, Yolanda, your back is not killing you. And I said, thanks, sis. We teach what we need to learn, right? Thank you for correcting me, because somebody else would have kept walking, And so just to remember that language matters. And when we don't have the words to say, our behavior is our communication. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, be aware and find those words, find somebody you could be totally transparent with and talk and use those words. Because if you're in a place where you can't speak about it, it's going to show up in your behavior, and that might not be so great.
That is, so you said so many really kind of profound nuggets, like right, in there, and in this conversation of, I woke up like this, certainly a spin off of of the song and all of that. But life is a series of awakenings. And what I think is so powerful about this conversation with college students, but guess what? It's some adults here. If y'all picking up what she putting down, throw some hearts. Like, I'm not a college student, but what she's saying is resonating with me. Let us know in the comments. But specifically, I think it's great to have this kind of this is going to be, you don't arrive at a place. Like, this is a series of things that are going to awaken in you,
Yes. And especially as we grow and age, things change, and we can't go into our 30s, 40s, and 50s with our teenage mindset. We can't go into our 50s, 60s, and 70s with our 20-year-old mindset. So we have to be flexible and malleable. And my husband using big words, malleable, right? To be able to shift, be a lifelong learner, and be able to shift and grow as we change over life. So absolutely.
All right. And so good. This is so good. Yes, I see you. Tanya is like, Yolanda, you are dropping some good nuggets over here. I'm telling you, absolutely. And I know that while people are listening, and they might have college students, or there might be college students listening in, what are the best ways to connect with you?
Yes, well, I'm on social media, and against my will, I had to go on Instagram, because that's where my young people are. Right, TikTok, I'm still struggling, but I have an account, so it's a start. But yes, on Facebook and Instagram, I'm at Unbreakable Minds Coaching. Unbreakable Minds Coaching. Okay, so, and then also on Linktree. I don't know how many of y'all use Linktree, but Linktree, you can Google it, but everything is there. Like, oh, thank you. Yes, Unbreakable Minds Coaching everywhere. And then, so my phone number, my email is in all those places. You could DM me, any of those kinds of things. I have a website, and there's a space on the website where it says, you got questions, we got answers. And so you can put your information there, ask your question, like totally accessible, totally accessible.
Oh, wonderful. And also I love too that organizations bring you in as well. And so if people are saying, wow, Yolanda would be a great speaker, or a great seminar or symposium host, that information they can connect with you on your website as well.
Absolutely. And you know what, something's interesting that I didn't even think about till it happened. In talking to my college minds, what I call them, I have one young lady who is at VSU, and she's a graduate student there. And she just became the president of an organization. And I'm talking to her just as a graduate student, like we're talking about mindset, we're talking about stress and anxiety, and, like it's a silent killer and all those things. And she says to me, I'm revamping my organization, and I would really love for you to come talk. And I'm like, sure, anytime, just call me.
Yeah.
You think that sister didn't follow up? I got a text about a month ago, and we're planning to January, but she is like, mental health is something that is on our list, and it's very important. And I want you to come speak. And I'm like, I'm there. Just let me know. So, even if you're a college student, you don't have to be a dean or a professor or a president or a counselor at the university. If you are a student, remember your personal power. If you're hearing something that you think your classmates can benefit from me or anybody else, you are your own best advocate, and sometimes you have to go knock on somebody's door and say, hey, can we bring somebody here to talk about this?
Right. Because college students, they're dealing with so much pressure from academics, social life, fitting in. I've got all this freedom. What am I doing with it? And so I know you help with really kind of, in particular, young women, how do you help guide them through like balancing these challenges and maintaining a healthy mindset?
Yes. So one thing that I do, especially with all my individual clients, but sometimes in groups, is we create your circle of support, right? Because we know that so much transformation happens through relationships. People are healed by way of relationships and connection, like literally. And so creating your circle of support means that you are identifying what you need in who or what you need in your life, what you need in your life, and who do you know that can provide that thing for you? Because no one person is going to be everything to you or for you.
That's
right?
good. Right
So,
there.
so you may need a mentor. And sometimes young people think mentors have to find them, but that's where networking comes in, and you're at a place where you see, I don't know, I can't tell you how many times I bumped into a younger person at an event, and they're like, can you be my mentor? Or can I call you to be a listening ear, and so you can seek out your own mentor. Everybody needs a grandma or grandma figure that's going to go old school on you and tell it like a TI is, straight.
And say, girl, put a slip on with that dress.
Listen, I can see through your dress, put a slip. Yes. Right. So I talk about creating your circle of support, and it may include family, it may not. And we're not going to feel bad about it, because you need what you need, right? Your families most of the time are going to be there, but you need certain people. The person you can call at 3:00 in the morning and just going to get up and wipe the crust and go head on and listen. Right.
Yes.
Then we talk about boundaries. Oh my gosh, boundaries, right? Do a calendar audit, sis. Like, what? How many things are you committed to? How many times are you saying yes when you really mean no, or you don't have the capacity, right? So between boundaries and capacity, we talk about that, because I usually have a cup here, but the cup can only hold what the cup can hold. That's the capacity. After that, it's going to make a mess.
Yeah.
Right?
Ooh.
I'll be quick, because I know I'm looking at the clock. So energy zappers, the things that just zap you of your energy that you show up for time and time again, and you leave just drained. Like, stop doing that. and the mindfulness, like I talked about, and be yourself, be your authentic self, because everybody else is taken. And I don't even have time to go into it, but I have one young lady who went for a job interview. And one of those ones where it was like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. And she went in there and she was her complete self, and the people offered her the job. And she was like, oh my gosh, I wasn't even trying. I said, that's why, because you weren't trying to be somebody else. You were
Yeah.
being you, and you showed up as your authentic self, and they loved that. And they asked you to come on board.
And to me, I think I woke up like this lends to that conversation of authenticity. And you're also huge on journaling. So you have your own journal. I think you got one. And let me see, is mine here or at my house? Oh, look, it's on my bookshelf right here. Look, we
Journal,
it.
yes.
So yeah, so talk to our audience about this beautiful morning journal. And I woke up like this is the title.
Yes.
So talk to us about this.
Yes. So, we had our book collaboration, right? And my chapter was called "I Woke Up Like This."
Mhm.
And I was just thinking about how for most of my life I've been like, "What's my purpose? What's my purpose? Am I doing the right thing? God, I need a sign." All these different things. And the entire time I was walking in my purpose, right? And so I could recall different times of my life where those awakenings were happening. Like I was, I was working with some young people, and I just realized like there's transformation taking place here, right? And all my fears of, am I going to get it right? Am I going to say it right? Am I going to do this and do that? None of that mattered, right? Because, I felt like somebody's breakthrough was waiting on me. And I say this out loud. Somebody's breakthrough is waiting on you. I'll say that to y'all in the audience.
Listen.
Somebody's breakthrough is waiting on you, and fear will hold us back. But there were times when I pushed myself and I did it, and I just can pinpoint those times in my life, right? And so I wrote the journal. So I talked about that in my chapter.
Yeah,
just my awakening. Yes,
look, my bookshelf is right over here.
Matching books.
Which I shipped books today. So listeners, if you, and I know Yolanda, you're shipping or in the process. So if you got books from us, we're they're in shipment. So
yes. But real quick, just like it's a morning journal. And when you wake up in the morning, a lot of times we have our best ideas when we wake up, right?
Yes.
And so just to be intentional about sitting still for about 5 or 10 minutes and just notating the physical sensations in your body, right? I woke up like this, but how did my body feel? Did my neck hurt? My back hurt? How was that going to affect my day? And then what's your mindset, right? When you wake up, what new awareness do you have? What clarity? You went to bed confused, you woke up clear, right? Write it down, because we ignore that stuff. And then to be able to go back, and this is me. Well, you may not be able to see it, but this is my writing, right?
Yeah.
Because I use my own journal. And to be able to go back and read some of those awakenings and like, oh wow, how awesome
and
was
see
that?
patterns, even see patterns in your own life. Where can people get a copy?
Yeah, so I woke up like this is on Amazon. And so you can just Google Yolanda Hall. I woke up like this. This should pop up. And then, or you can reach out to me and I can get to you if you're local. And then, in this book, you can go to my website. It's at the very top. It's a banner on the top, and it's just more information. And then you can click and purchase there. And then if you want them both, reach out to me because I could hook you up.
Look, combo. Listen, my cousin Roberto is saying someone's breakthrough is waiting on us. Amen.
Yes.
And that's related to whatever you got going on. If that's related to your business, your nonprofit, it could just be your life. You could just be here like, I don't have any of that, but your life and what you say and speak to other people. They're waiting. Gwen, we're glad to have you in the audience. Gwen is
that's my cousin.
Your cousin, listen, a family in the audience, and she has an amazing gala coming up this weekend. So thank you. I know that I host events, so I know any time leading up to an event is busy, but thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. Tanya saying amen. So you have given the sanction there. You have given the sanction. So what are all the ways that college students, parents can work with you, other organizations can work with you?
Yeah, so of course, individual coaching, one-to-one coaching. And I'll tell you with the young ladies, my husband works with the young men now. So if I get, but with the young ladies, we usually work via Zoom, even if you're in town, sometimes just because of convenience. Like we work, we coach on Zoom and it works. They're in their bedroom most of the time. And they're, I'm like, what about this? And they're like you just did on the show. You got a notebook that you use, or what about it? And so we do individual coaching, and it could be in person if you're in town. If not, anywhere in the world.
Yeah, worldwide.
Thanks to Zoom, right? And then we could work in groups. So whether sometimes I have coaching groups that I may put out online and say, if this fits you and this is a challenge that you're facing and you need some support, come join. Or if you are a group of people, right? If you're an organization and you have 6, 8, 10 kids that need, or teens or young adults that need something, 9 times out of 10 is something I can cover, because mindset is at the core of everything, right?
Yeah.
So individual, and then if you follow us on Instagram and on Facebook, I post all my events there. So we do have community events, and when I go to these universities, I'm going to be I post everything that I do. So
yes.
If it's public, it's on my site, and you can see it, and you can register, or you can just show up. So definitely. And then workshops and trainings, vision board. Like I work with churches, I work with youth serving organizations, I partner. If I have a grant and you have a grant, we can put our grant together and make the event even bigger. So, I mean,
Wonderful. Unbreakable Minds Coaching, again, on Facebook and Instagram. If you are listening to the podcast, look down below in the show notes. We have all of the links for Yolanda Hall. We have all of the connection points for Unbreakable Minds Coaching. Just look down below. If you're on Charvette.com, look down below in the show notes as well. And listen, I cannot leave out, that you're a mom of 2 beautiful daughters. And so kind of our last kind of wrapping up question is, how has your own experience really as a parent influenced how you approach, coaching teens and college students?
Yes. So look, I'm gonna have a transparent moment. So I kind of feel like they qualified me to do what I do, right? I've been doing it for years, but the transparent moment is that I felt a little imposter syndrome for a long time, because I didn't have the age of kids that I was telling parents, oh, well, have you thought about this? Have you done this? They didn't know, but I knew that I didn't have teenagers. Right. So now that they're 13 and 15, shout out to Journey and Kendall, and Coach Curtis, my husband. He's
here. Thank you, Coach Curtis.
Yes. So I feel like they qualify me, right? And so, and they keep us dialed in, right? Like I said, Curtis and I are both life coaches to teens and young adults, and they keep us dialed in. We consult with them, like, what does this mean? What is the new word? What is the new trend? What do you think about this? Like, just to get another perspective, right? So, So the great thing is, I always say we teach what we most need to learn. And so I teach parents about connecting with their kids, but I also practice it at home with my own. And then I use that approach with parents, and when I'm talking to them, to ask lots of questions, and then listen, because they have a lot to say. And I have something called Parenting on Purpose, and that's kind of like a spinoff to Conscious Parenting. And so just since I have started Parenting on Purpose, and just being really conscious of them and their thoughts and their feelings and their emotions, and that they have something to say. And my girls are very tuned in to what they like. Like they are very, I see them as fairly, pretty confident. There's some things they don't like to do, but they know what they want. And for me, trying to do the things I think they want instead of asking them, once I started asking them, it liberated me from that responsibility again for their happiness, their peace, their joy, all those things. So they definitely prepare me and influence, how I approach coaching the teens as well as working with the parents.
Oh, that's a good way to a full circle moment there. Here, as we wrap up, I woke up like this segment. Life is a series of awakening. So Yolanda Hall, we are so excited that we had the opportunity to feature you, that we get to work with you. It just, you are like all in. You're one of those people, whatever you're involved with, you are all in.
10 toes.
10 toes. I love that. And I know that because what we put in is what we get out.
Exactly.
And so you can't, whatever seeds you sow, that's the harvest you're going to reap. So
it is.
you put it all in. So I know that you are going to reap a harvest, and when harvest time is at different times and different things come about, but I know you're going to see the harvest that you're looking for. So thank you so much for stopping by the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show and being our guest.
Thank you for having me.
All right, you are welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay, it's a wrap for today. I know this is a segment you probably need to go back and listen to. So Sharvette.com is one of the easiest places. If you're like, oh, I got someone that needs to watch this, Sharvette.com, because then that way you can get to the podcast version, the video version. You have Yolanda's bio, all of her links. So Sharvette.com, our main website, is where we recommend. If you do listen from a podcast version, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all those, go ahead and subscribe. Sis, go ahead and subscribe. Bro, go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss any of our episodes and you don't have to kind of fumble around and find us. We're here every Tuesday. I'm Sharvette Mitchell, CEO of Mitchell Productions. We are a marketing and professional development firm here in the capital city of Richmond, Virginia. And we are honored that you spent some time with us listening and watching this episode. And it's a wrap for today. We are going to see you all later on the web. Bye.
Live from Richmond, Virginia, you've been listening to the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show. Get Sharvette Mitchell every Tuesday at 6 p.m., interviewing all the stars you want to hear from. So until next week, stay motivated, excited, and influenced. This is the Sharvette Mitchell Radio Show.